So does anyone else want to be included?
I'm already.
Are you on every building?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yeah. Everything. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Okay, my other thing is, when are we going to start talking about our emergency plans for the building repairs?
So we're addressing buildings now. I don't think we need to start talking about some of the things because some of the things are very obvious. If there are questions that you have related to a specific building,
At some point, I'd prefer that we put together a report and you can address us as part of the superintendent report at a future meeting.
sure.
Like, are we gonna come up with a list of like all the, like, we know the high school needs a roof, okay, that, I mean, this has been a never-ending story. So are we gonna come up with a list of repairs that need to be done and what we're going to do to get those done? Because at some point, we have to really start looking at that, and I'm sure all of us do not know what all the buildings need.
So with regards to the roof, what I told our head custodian is it's a lot easier to work on things through time, to set aside money and periodically repair larger pieces of roof instead of going out for a big old bond. It's a lot easier to plan for 5 years and say we could set aside $100,000 every year for this section. He already gave me the layout of what he would do, so we already talked about that with him. I could draft a report on every building and what a plan is, but it's just like at home. You assess your needs and you have a plan on what you want to address first, second, third. If the board wants that, yes.
And Mark, you may remember this, I don't know if any new board members, but that was a recommendation from the state for us to, because last couple of years, everything's been classified as an emergency. And that's why we're in bids, right? So the state recommended to us to say, to come up with, to work on a plan for us to say, all right, that roof is caving in, its parts are falling, that's an emergency because it affects safety, it affects whatever. So I looked through a lot of schools and a lot of businesses and found that, you know, they had like a category 5 is something that needs to be done right now. 4 is something that may not be, so they kind of list what's an emergency and what's not an emergency. You know, we need to clean the walls out, that's not an emergency.
This reminds me as well. Mr. Abdullah, you told me just this afternoon about the Traverse City decision on their online schooling. They lost their appeal. They did. And that's something we got to plan for as well. So not to minimize some of the repairs needed on the buildings, but we've got to juggle a lot of stuff right now. And until we get our numbers on enrollment, it's really hard to plan all that.
No, I'm not saying to plan when we're going to do these repairs, this is just like the general.
We need a, we
This
I
is,
understand.
if this happens,
We need a
that's an
list.
emergency.
Yes.
What we're
Number
gonna
5
do.
is
Yep.
immediate attention. If this happens, that can wait, because it doesn't.
All right.
Because it doesn't hurt us to assess.
Well,
You're right.
that's
It doesn't
something
hurt us.
sounds like you've already been working at, so.
What?
Sounds like something you've already been working
Yes, yeah. But I totally see what you're saying, is having a plan, so as things come up, we know this is a,
So have we brought somebody in, that's what I'm saying, have we brought somebody in to look at all the schools to assess and have a list of everything that's,
so I think the district brought someone in a few years ago that they already did an assessment. I believe you were on there. I believe,
You'd need a new up-to-date assessment. You can't go by an old one.
but there is nothing like your current head custodians that could give you. There's no one from the outside that could come in that the inside crew can't tell you because they're in the trenches. So a head custodian in any building could tell you the needs of their building more than anyone else. So if I go to the high school custodian and tell him, walk me through what you need, he knows, he's in and out of that building. He knows this is priority. He gave me a map of what's prioritized with roofs. And it took him a day to produce because he knows his building. Every head custodian knows their own building. So I would hate to waste money to bring someone in
that's what I'm
that...
saying, so we have that list, we have those lists of.
I don't have an extensive list. I could get you an extensive list if that's what you want.
a work in progress.
Yes. Okay, I'll work on that.
Anybody else?
Well, Gloria said something about the website. Are we doing anything with our website?
We are in transition on the website, correct?
So I reached out to All Covered, who's our IT people right now, just to talk to them today. They also have a web design department. They're going to come and talk to me to see if that's something we're interested in or not. And then we have some other contacts that we're reaching out for. And our building principals have also access so they could update their websites. And so they've been keeping up with that, but I still feel like we need someone to run the centralized website. So we're in
Yep, that-
talk about that.
I personally believe we could be doing so much more with our website to keep people informed.
I
So,
agree.
anybody else? Okay.
You talked about hiring Title I assistants. What criteria are we putting on that posting? Because I know before I retired, and I used to be a Title I before I was a media specialist, that we had to have some college certification. Is that still the case through Title I, through the federal program?
I don't think for paraprofessionals, there are teacher assistants that might have some criteria. Paraprofessionals are more like a teacher's aide and help out.
And
Can
the
we check
lowest paid.
into that? Because
Yeah.
it was Title I, we lost a lot of employees because of that
Parapros do not need
certification.
to have college qualifications, and they're the lowest paid in the school district.
For Title I, they want you to be highly qualified for the area that you're teaching in. That's the law.
Yeah.
That's professionals because they assist the teacher, the standard